But now we're talking about impeachment and Ukraine. And until recently, her party had been pushing for gun reform. You have come up with a way to beef up the system, background check system for purchasing guns in this country. Can anything get done on gun reform in the face of all of this?
Well, it certainly should. Let me say two things about that. One, watching Speaker Pelosi, I think Nancy understands that impeachment is a train wreck for the Democrats. She has been trying to hold back the hordes. And you know, watching her, it almost reminded me of a hostage video. I think she was blinking SOS. Her extreme left is angry. They're marching in the street with pitchforks and torches. And Pelosi, the reason they're going down the road of impeachment is she doesn't have any choice. That's not good for the American people. You talk about gun violence. Look, we have seen far too many mass murders. In my home state of Texas, I've been there for too many of these mass murders in the days and weeks that follow, whether in El Paso or Odessa or Santa Fe or Sutherland Springs. And there's a lot we can do. Going back to 2013, I introduced legislation, Grassley-Cruz, that focuses on the bad guys, that focuses on felons and fugitives and those with dangerous mental illness, that strengthens background checks, that gets guns out of the hands of criminals, and that also protects the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens. The Democrats don't want to do that. Instead, they just want to attack the president.
But you're suggesting she doesn't have control of her own party.
Well, she doesn't. I mean, her base is so filled with rage that sadly, I expect the next year, I don't think the Pelosi House has any interest in any meaningful substantive legislation.
So you have the votes to get your legislation through the Senate.
Yes.
But it goes over to the House, and what happens?
Well, you know, in 2013, we took up Grassley-Cruz. It was a Democratic Senate. It was a Harry Reid Senate at the time. And Grassley-Cruz got 52 votes. We got a majority of the Senate supported it. We got 9 Democrats. We got the most bipartisan support of any of the comprehensive legislation. But unfortunately, Harry Reid and the Democrats filibustered it. They demanded 60, so it didn't pass. And I'll tell you, unlike all these Democratic proposals, so every time you have a mass shooting, the Democrats say, let's go after law-abiding citizens, let's undermine their Second Amendment rights. Their proposals don't work. They wouldn't have prevented any of these mass shootings. Grassley-Cruz, if you look at it, there's a very good argument we could have prevented a number of these mass shootings. Why? Because it targets the bad guys, the violent criminals, and it gets the guns out of their hands. And when they break the law, it directs DOJ to prosecute them. Here's an amazing thing. When felons and fugitives try to illegally buy guns, the Department of Justice, by and large, doesn't prosecute them. Grassley-Cruz says, if you have a felon who tries to illegally buy a gun, go prosecute them, put them in jail so they can't commit a crime. That's common sense. That's what we ought to be doing. But at least right now, the House doesn't seem to have any interest in doing that.
All right. And off to a 2-week recess, everyone goes. So we know you're heading back to Texas, so we appreciate you stopping in America's Newsroom first, Senator.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.